Hey folks, Jessica here. So this video is going to be a bit of specialized knowledge. This is stemming from a question that was asked in my Luchador video, specifically about Skypiercer and whether or not you can use it with Summer Zooey and Nier, and whether or not it will kill you if you use it with Summer Zooey and Nier. The answer might surprise you a bit. So real quick, here is the grid I'll be using. I'm going to talk about Skypiercer first, and then I will show the use case for it and how it actually works in action. Skypiercer is a superlative weapon, and all those are from the Moonshop, and they're all tremendously expensive. They cost 100 moons to get, and they will come at 0-star uncap, so you're going to have to get 3 Damascus bars to uncap them to 3 stars, making them effectively 160 gold moons. Taking them from 3 to 5 stars is not a big deal at all, but the first 3 stars, those will take Damascus. They do come in any element. You can get any of the superlatives in any element you want, giving you a lot of flexibility, but that's also part of the hesitation people have in getting these. It's a lot of investment in one element, and it's a lot of investment in one weapon type in one element. Also, I will caution you, not all of these are equally useful. Some of these would not be a good use of 160 gold moons. That all said, I think the natural question is, are superlative weapons worth it? And I would actually say yes, they are. If you're at the point where your grid is so far progressed that there aren't better things for you to spend gold moons on. If your grid's still at the point where you're adding grand weapons to it and you need Damascus bars in order to uncap those grand weapons, that's a way better investment of the moons, because 160 gold moons is 8 Damascus bars, and that's a lot. And then I'd also add the caveat, you need to do the research into whether or not the specific superlative you're thinking about is actually a good choice for you. Skypiercer is one of the 2 ones you regularly see people using in like the top 3 rankings of United Fight overall. It's almost either Skypiercer or Ulukumi. Ulukumi is the superlative harp. So I would say that as long as you do the research, both of these you could make a legitimate case for pursuing if you're that far progressed in the game. Let's talk about what this specific weapon does. We don't talk a lot of superlative weapons, so I'll give you the raw stats, even though that's not the main draw of these usually. At level 200, Skypiercer has 382 HP, 3,562 attack. For reference, that is far and away the most powerful fist weapon in the game. Something you could compare it to in Dark would be Claws of Terror, the Astral Weapon. At level 200 on that, it is 305 HP, 2,926 attack, so significantly weaker in raw stats. Give you another point of comparison, this is all the melee weapons in the game sorted by attack. Skypiercer is far and away at the top. The next closest thing is the grand weapon from the character whose name I can't remember. Fist of Destruction. Fist of Destruction is 3,141 attack, so fully 400 attack less. Again, it's not the main draw, but it gives you an idea of how much more powerful this is in raw stats and everything else. And also, it's the thing I was talking about before when you compare Skypiercer to Claws of Terror. You would think Claws of Terror would be really, really, really high stats because it's an astral weapon and they're not easy to get, but this is what I've said in the past. Premium weapons, weapons that take premium currency to acquire, for the most part, are just naturally statted higher than weapons that are farmable. So that's that difference in action right there. Skypiercer's charge attack is Lunar Fang. It gives you supplemental damage at 40,000 for 3.5 turns. A point of comparison would be Zwei's Schädel. This is the Dark Proving Grounds Fist. It also gives supplemental damage. It is capped at 10,000. It has Big Enmity on it, and then Apocalyptic Power 2. Apocalyptic Power 2 is unique to it as its superlative weapon skill. Causes the main character to deal triple attacks. You can only triple attack while you have a Skypiercer equipped. The main character cannot single attack or double attack. 100% unconditional triple attack. You also take 5% damage every turn. This is what prompted the question at the very beginning, which we'll cover in a moment. And it gives you 30% bonus elemental damage, so 30% echo unconditionally all the time. As you might expect, the self-damage actually does synergize pretty well with the fact that this thing has enmity on it, especially in elements that have trouble getting enmity active. Its final skill is Royal Purple Blow. It's called Elemental Blow. It will be different, it will have a different name based on what element you're using, but for Dark it's Royal Purple Blow. This is a 20% bonus dark damage effect on the third hit of a Dark ally's triple attack. That was a lot of words, but it just means when a character triple attacks, the third attack will have an extra tick of damage associated with it. Also, worthwhile to note, that is the same effect as Zweischädel, Royal Purple Blow. In both cases, this will work if the weapon is just in the grid. It doesn't have to be main-handed for that. This is particularly interesting in Skypiercer because you might think that's a problem, but Zweischädel is very commonly replaced these days with Claws of Terror, since they're both EX mod, and Claws of Terror is just a better EX mod, unworldly as opposed to massive, and it's also cap up and other things. So Royal Purple Blow on this actually works fine with Skypiercer because you're probably not using a Zweischädel with it, you're using a Claws of Terror. So let's go into some examples to answer that question as to whether or not that 5% damage when you're using Zooey and Nier is actually a problem. For the example, we're going to jump in and fight Akasha real fast. And here's the thing, yes, the tick of damage from a Skypiercer will actually kill you if you're on 1 HP. But here's the other thing, you're playing Luchador, and Luchador has Guts naturally. And that changes some things, because that means that first tick won't actually kill you. The second one will, but that's fine for what we're doing here, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So remember, we're just trying to blue chest. And blue chesting is, as I've mentioned many times, very hard, because it takes a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. So this is a situation where the fact that it does eventually kill you is actually not that big. So this is going to be my tag team. As you can see, big damage, then we'll attack, and then watch Djeeta's health. Because she's on 1 HP, and she's going to take a tick of plain damage. I really should refresh, but I mean, we're talking about things, so I'll just let it play out. So nice try, whatever. And then Djeeta takes a little tick of damage, but she didn't die, and that's because she has Guts. So now I can Quillen, reset all my stuff, give Predator Double Strike, give her Assassin, all that again, give Unchallenge the team again, Tag team again, and then attack again. Now, this time, Djeeta will die. So, when these charge attacks play out. Oh, here's what Lunar Fang looks like, by the way, if you've been wondering. I mean, it's a charge attack, it's not particularly exciting. But you might not have seen it, since not a lot of Skypiercers running around. So note our damage, we're at 1.16 million, essentially, which is well into safe blue chest range. Guaranteed blue chest is like 1.5 million, roughly. But here we go. Djeeta's gonna take a tick of damage as soon as this guy plays out his freaking attack. Nice try. There's a tick of damage, Djeeta's gonna drop dead. Now, you might think, that's a problem. It's not, because remember, we're trying to blue chest here, and it lets me bring Ray forward. And Ray coming forward is actually great, because I can cold stare. So cold staring essentially negates the next instance of damage. So that means I can attack again safely because Ray's come forward. So Djeeta dying reliably there, it's actually a bonus because it lets me get Ray in position in order to cold stare. And this guy completely whiffed his attack, so it was irrelevant anyways, but yes, if he were to even charge attack me there, it wouldn't be a big deal because cold stare would be up. And now I'm pretty safely into blue chest range. We're gonna skip forward, I'll show you the chest, because of course I will. Let's hope for a gold bar on the other side of this cut. You're still sitting here waiting for Akasha to die. Typically when you're farming Akasha for gold bars, you join a whole bunch of them, you do your lucha damage in one, then you move to the next, and then they're always ticking down. You don't sit here and wait for the thing to die, but I want to get footage of the chest drop, so that's why we're still here. Who's this team? In relation to my Lucha video, yeah, this is usually the Kasha setup you would see. It's like 7 Luchas out of 11 players. Alright, it's about to die. Come on, you guys can do it. I believe in you. Maybe y'all need more Sky Piercers. Oh boy. Okay, today, Junior. Kill this idiot. But yeah, I know it might not be everyone's cup of tea to sacrifice the main character, but when you're playing Luchador, you're there for tag teams. And once the tag teams are expired, you kind of delivered your payload, and you're just getting rid of the shell casing at that point by letting Djeeta die. That's a really dark way of phrasing it, but it's true. Alright, today I get a gold bar on camera from a blue chest. Let's see. Gold bar? No gold bar. So we are gonna talk about what if you don't want your main character to die while you're using Skypiercer, because you can rearrange your sequencing a little bit to ensure that happens. It's just a bit more clunky than I would like if I'm farming something like Akasha. So that in a second. Okay, I guess some of you won't want to treat your MC like they're a spent shell casing and just eject them out of there after you shot the bullet off. So for those folks, I'll show you some sequencing you can do in order to prevent your MC from just dying to Skypiercer after 2 rounds of tag team. We're in Luminaire HL, but it could be anything, it could be trading dummy because I'm just showing the sequencing. Now remember how Nier works. Nier, when she dies, inflicts unfinished business on everybody, and that makes it so you can't heal. But before she dies, you can still heal just fine. So all you really gotta do is shift conjunction up to use it before Nier dies. And then at that point you've got a couple options. You could just hit tag team right now, and you have drain because you have drain on from conjunction, and that will heal everybody about 3k or so, and that's gonna be enough for Djeeta to survive. Now that's not ideal in some ways because it does mean everybody's gonna heal a little bit more off of 1 HP. So the other option, if you want to just target Djeeta, is you can just pot her. That's totally an effective option. But now I've healed a little bit too much HP because I don't want to heal too much because I'm turning off enmity. So that's why you can bring Splitting Spirit. And then now Djeeta's at just the right amount of HP to survive Skypiercer ticks, but still do a really sizable amount of damage. And now you can just kill Nier as normal and it'll be totally fine. You might think that an issue here is that Predator won't have, she won't be on 1% HP, but keep in mind Predator can hurt herself with her too, just fine. And Predator is also so juiced up on steroids from her assassin buffs that it won't matter, really. She'll still hit like a truck. Here, for example, Predator's gonna have no problems doing a lot of damage. And then that's our tag team, and then we can do our regular attack. And Djeeta wouldn't die anyways right now because she still has a tick of guts as additional security, but you'll see she won't die from Skypiercer ticks here because she's got well more enough HP to survive it. It says, that is, if this boss doesn't just die. Okay, the boss is fine. So she's got 7,700 HP. Skypiercer's gonna tick for about day. Skypiercer's gonna tick for about sometimes a day for about 1,300. So not that big a deal. Moving on. We have arrived at the end of the video. It's been a very specialized discussion, as I said it would be, but hopefully you found it entertaining and it clears up any questions you might have had about Superlative Weapons as a whole, Skypiercer, and specifically how it interacts with Nier and Summer Zooey. Obviously this isn't going to be an issue at all if you're running Skypiercer in any other element, since 1 HP nonsense is mostly a dark thing. In some ways this is an extension of our Luchador discussion. You can see the game starts playing very differently once you reach a certain power delta, and Luchador gives you a unique tool that really begins to break the balance of the game. If you've enjoyed this or have further questions, let me know down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!